Now Ayrshire Radio Podcast presents Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Time for this week's Local Legend Spotlight, and this week it's Studio16, a company from Ayr which is already known for being one of Scotland's top high-end detailing studios. But today's guest has taken things to a whole new level. In just 12 months, she's become the only International Detailing Association certified female detailer in the entire UK. One of only 11 people worldwide with a specialist motorcycling detailing certification. She applies paint protection film, she runs a beauty business in Glasgow, and she's just returned from Orlando in Florida after winning Newcomer of the Year at the International Detailing Association Global Awards. Bringing an international award home to Ayrshire is no small achievement, and at the age of just 56, she's become a genuine inspiration for women entering a male-dominated profession. I am delighted to welcome this week's local legend. We've got Isobel and Andy from Studio16. A massive thanks for joining us on the show this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Elliot.
So, before we get into this incredible journey, it is a Sunday, and most people have got the frying pan on and the kettle on. So the big question is, are you a tomato sauce or a brown sauce person?
I'm going to be controversial and say neither. I hate sauces. Blech.
What about yourself, Andy?
Definitely tomato. Definitely tomato.
There we go. What about tea or coffee?
Oh, tea, absolutely.
Coffee.
And lastly, what is your go-to Sunday morning roll?
It's got to be a soft Morton's roll with a square sausage.
That was very specific.
Very specific.
And what about yourself?
I'm going to be controversial as well, Elliot, and I'm going to say I like a croissant with scrambled egg.
There we go. Coming up, we're going to hear how one woman stepped into a male-dominated industry and in just 1 year became one of the most decorated detailers in the planet.
You're listening to Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Now Ayrshire Radio.
Fresh back from Orlando after winning Newcomer of the Year at the International Detailing Association Awards. So Isobel, firstly with yourself, where is it you grew up?
I grew up in Hamilton. I'm a Lanarkshire lass.
And tell us about your business just now. So you don't just have a detailing business, you jumped into that. What is it you do just now, and what did you kind of grow up doing?
Well, I'm actually a beautician. I have my own business called Lotus Lashes. I specialise in lash extensions and brows. I kind of fell into that, to be honest, the way I fell into detailing. So my background is I always worked in really cool jobs in record shops.
Right.
For most of my life, actually. So I consider myself as always having kind of rock and roll jobs.
So records, so talk us through them from the early days. So grew up in Hamilton, left school. What did you do when you first left school?
Well, I went to art college in Glasgow, I moved to Glasgow when I was 24. In Hamilton, I was the only goth in town, so I had to get out of Dodge. So I moved to Glasgow where people understood me and I fitted in a bit better. So went to art college for a few years, and that's where I got a part-time job in Virgin Megastore, the original Virgin Megastore, the cool one. And from there, I basically progressed through the stages to become like department manager and that kind of thing. And then I got to a point where I just get fed up with retail. I think I was in it 19 years. Decided to move into beauty, completely out of nowhere, no background in it whatsoever, just decided to do it, and made a big success of that. I had my own business.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What a great story. Now, Andy, you're here as well. Now, what's your background been?
My background was, when I left school, I was a French polisher, so I'd done that for a long time, but always had a passion for cars, motorcycles, etc. So I've always done valeting, detailing on my own cars. I've got quite a lot of trophies for showing cars, stuff like that. So it was a natural progression for me to move into the valeting world, as it was called back in the day. I started off with a van, like everyone does. Moved into the studio a while back because I just couldn't do the jobs that I wanted to do. And that's really where we are now. Opened the Detailing Academy, which is where Isobel was trained, and she's my best pupil so far, but I've got to say that because she's my wife as well.
Of course. So taking it back then through the journey, so you clearly, you've always been involved with the kind of valeting side, the detailing. What point did you start Studio16?
Studio16 was started late 2019. So we've been located in Ayr for 6 years. 6 years.
So growing from there, and Isobel, clearly you've been very busy. It's not that you've been doing nothing. You've had the business in Glasgow doing beauty. At what point did you come into the business, Andy? At what point did you invite Isobel and go, I need you to get involved with this and clearly do well at it?
So a couple of years ago, I was pretty ill towards Christmas. We had a big chat. We were just recently married. Spoke to Isobel and said, if I wasn't around, I would still want the business to make her a decent income, but I wouldn't want someone to come in and pull the wool over her eyes. So I really needed her to come down and get involved with the business and understand the workings behind the cleaning of the cars. And she's came on board and just smashed absolutely everything right out the water very, very quickly. In the last 12 months, has been phenomenal for her.
Absolutely amazing. And now, it's obviously I think there's differences, obviously. I mean, the beauty world to then the car world is two completely different industries. But detailing, beauty, there's a bit of a link there.
Yeah, there definitely is. What I would say is I think more women should get involved in detailing, because I think we just have that wee edge. I think we're a lot more meticulous, a lot more organised. A bit controversial saying that, but that's how I feel about it. But definitely between my own experience between the two industries, there's a lot of transferable skills. What I do in my beauty industry, or my beauty business, is very meticulous, very, very detailed, and it's been easy, a transition for me moving into detailing. I've not found it particularly hard. And I'm on a wee bit of a quest, actually, to get more females involved.
Fantastic. Now, you talk about the business in general, getting involved with it. How have you found working in that male-dominated environment? Because I think it naturally is. You've come in with a different perspective. How do you feel with kind of customers coming through the door and speaking to yourself?
Absolutely. It's blown me away, to be honest. Well, first of all, even just been in the industry with talking to other detailers. I mean, we've been to quite a lot of different shows and seminars and things now. There's not a lot of females in Britain involved in it, and I've been welcomed with open arms. And I'm not just somebody who then accompanies Andy's to hold his jacket at these things. People are actually interested to find out my journey, what I know, and I've just been so welcomed. In terms of the studio, we've definitely saw an upturn of female clients coming through the door, and I think there's a trust thing about that. We've talked about that many, many times, that women run about in cars we have nice cars, but they're usually filthy, they're terrible looking, we don't look after them because we're intimidated going to car washes and these kind of places. So I think having a female, and I'm very much in the front of Andy's Studio16 social media, we're trying to build a lot of trust there. And I think that's really happening. We're seeing a lot more female clients coming through the door, which I'm so chuffed about.
Fantastic. So Andy, from your side as well, it's obviously, when you've got your own business and you've kind of been running things, it must be difficult to let things go. But clearly the last 12 months, I mean, we spoke about it in the intro, it's been an unbelievable introduction with the amount of awards and where you've ended up. What's your opinion on the 12 months I've been involved along with Isobel?
So the last 12 months have been a bit of a whirlwind. My goal in the industry is to raise the industry off the ground. You know, I want guys to come into my detailing academy where I train. You know, I recently trained a 17-year-old, and I'm looking for people to believe in school and saying I'm going to be a car detailer, and it not being looked down upon as a wee side hustle job or whatever. It's an actual profession. When you go over to the States, you're treated completely differently to what you're doing over here. Bringing Isobel into the business and her goals, you know, bringing more females into the business, as she quite rightly says, I'm of the opinion that females are better detailers. They've got a better eye for detail. Has been absolutely fantastic. Also, she's my wife and my best friend, so it's not a hassle to have Isobel at my work.
Fantastic. Now, talk to us about the difference. I mean, I think everybody that's got a car will have got it valeted. I mean, I think I sent mine down just last week to get it valeted. However, there's a difference between valeting and detailing. I mean, you can probably go to a car wash and get a super mini valet and all the different buzzwords for 25, 30 quid. What's involved with detailing, and what kind of price point is that?
So we are probably a high-end detailers, so we specialise in ceramic coatings, machine polishing, the sort of more intricate detailing. Every car that we have in, we're spending 2 to 3 days on the car. When it comes to what Isobel specialises in, she specialises in paint protection film, which protects motorcycles, from stone chips and road rash and stuff like that. The skill set of that particular job is unbelievable. There are a lot of people out there that would like to be able to do it, but it's one of those jobs that you just can't.
So just to talk there, you mentioned 2 to 3 days. I genuinely thought you were going to say 2 to 3 hours.
No.
Absolutely shocked at just the level of it. Is that 2 to 3 days with kind of one person permanently on it for that time?
Yeah, you're talking wheels off, brake calipers all done, machine polishing. That can take a full day just to do that, to prep it. The ceramic coating then goes over the top of that to protect the work that you've already achieved. 99% of my clients come in with reasonably nice cars, and when they pick the car up, you can see the smile on their face instantly as they walk through the door, and it's always the same thing. This car never looked like this the day I picked it up from the showroom.
Fantastic. So where is the studio?
So it's literally 10 minutes away from where your studio is. It's down in Whitfield Drive in Ayr.
Fantastic. So if anybody wants to find out more, they can look at that and look you up in socials now.
Absolutely.
There's a full story here. Really looking forward to talking about the big wins, which there's plenty of, especially in the last 12 months. And we're going to do it just after this.
Tune in live every Sunday from 10 a.m. for Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Only on Now Ayrshire Radio.
Now Ayrshire.
We are still with Isobel and Andy from Studio16. Now, we've heard about the early days. And it's not. I've got it wrong again. Do you know what? Come in and tell me. You're shaking.
Studio16.
I don't know why I keep saying it, and also accidentally played your tune. It's just all going wrong with this afternoon. There we go. Oh, there we go. It's all in the details. I know. I'm going to say you can tell the attention to detail there because it was sending you mad. So, Andy, talk about. We've spoken about the early days. Now, tell us about the business journey. So, what year did it start?
So I started mobile detailing in 2011, moved into the studio in 2019, and it's literally over the past few years we've done a lot with the International Detailing Association. As I said before, we're trying to up the levels of detailing as a business. We've spent a lot of time on education and stuff like that, and that's pretty much where we're at. I started the Detailing Academy 3 years ago because I want to give back and train people that want to come into the industry and make it a career. So we started that a couple of years ago, and as I said before, Isobel's probably my star pupil with all these awards.
Fantastic. Now, we talk about the kind of big wins as well. You like to always talk. What would you say your biggest wins been?
Biggest wins, 100% myself and my good friend Russ Urmiston from Invisible Patterns down in Manchester. We're over in Florida, and when Isobel actually got announced that she'd actually won that award, it was the both of us were in tears, and we're not teary kind of cry kind of people. But
is it?
No, we're definitely not. But I looked at him, and he was across the full other side of the room, and he was standing applauding. He was in tears, I was in tears. It was just that emotional, that you've actually trained someone to that level, and she's getting accreditation, that she's quite rightly deserves.
Fantastic. Now, Isobel, am I right in saying that you're the UK's only IDA female detailer?
Yes, that's correct.
And you're now an international award winner. So talk us through, what 12 months? Can you talk us through the past 12 months and how it just went mad?
Yeah, it has been an absolute whirlwind, there's no doubt about it. I didn't see it coming. Went into the business purely, as Andy had mentioned, just to oversee it, understand how it all works, etc. Just in case he needed to take time out. But I'm very much somebody where I can't just go in with one foot. I've got to be 2 feet in, and I've got to understand everything about it. So I couldn't just stand by and him show me stuff. I had to do it for myself. And then I just found, as I mentioned before, a lot of transferable skills, and I just got stuck in. And I just thought, you know what, learning what I did to do eyelashes way back in the day was way harder than learning to do this, mate. And I just got stuck in, and one training course just fell into another naturally. We get heavily involved with the International Detailers Association. and they really my biggest cheerleaders. They've really been supporting me because I'm the only female to get certified, and it just snowballed for there basically. I was blown away when I was nominated. I couldn't believe it.
Fantastic. Now, you make it sound really easy. I mean, Andy, how long have you spent getting yourselves to the top of your game?
So I'm 35 years in. I actually had a comment on social media the other day there. How can you possibly have been doing this for 35 years when you only look 40? I'm taking that as a proper plus point. But I have been detailing cars for 35 plus years, and I think for me the biggest thing really is that I've passed on my skill set to Isobel and shown that anyone can learn, and if they take it seriously, where it can actually take them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Now, talking about the quite a specific certification that you've got, you're one of just 11 people worldwide, which is mental.
Yep.
Right? Worldwide, billions of people worldwide to earn a specialist motorcycle certification.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that, and how did you actually manage to be one of 11?
Well, the reason I'm only one of 11 is because the exam is so damn hard. It's actually really difficult. The exams are written in America by American detailers and bikers. So a lot of the questions relate to things in Britain we don't understand. We're talking about air ride system in motorbikes and things like that. I had to do a lot of research, and I had to go and find out answers to things to sit this exam. And I was warned it was very Americanised. I think that's what's put a lot of people off in Britain. To be honest, the exams are getting rewritten, but I feel quite privileged that I got to sit the hard one, and I passed it.
Yeah.
I literally passed it with skin in my teeth, I may add. I think it was like 80% pass. I think I got 82%, but I got it.
Yes, a pass. Now,
Pass is a pass.
for my business in here, and I think it's actually next to friends of the show, Regency Facilities Management, are based in the same place. What would you say that your customer base is? So I'm guessing with the fact that you're one of 11, and if you've got a biker, the bike is somebody's life. It's their pride and joy. So I take it you see people from far across Scotland, perhaps even the UK, that's been by you to get your detailing expertise.
Yeah, absolutely. Elliot, you're right on that. There's been people, all different walks of life coming through the door. We've had young guys, we've had pensioners, guys up in their 70s who have been bikers all their lives riding their bikes, who trust me with their prized possession. And I'm really privileged with that. But you know the thing that actually blows me away? The fact that they walk in and they come and speak to me, they don't bypass me to go speak to Andy. I love that.
And I think that's one of the things, I mean, as a male-dominated industry, as we've spoken about before, what would you say is this challenge that it's to see the biggest challenge in working in a male-dominated industry? What would you say that is?
Honestly, I don't think there's been any big challenges, to be completely honest. I've found everyone, like I mentioned before, so welcoming and just absolutely respecting me. It's fantastic.
To be fair though, when you've got the certification only in 1 out of 11 worldwide, then certainly it does become, but you just understand why that respect is there. Now, on to the business side, and we'll go to you yourself, Andy. What would you say one of the challenges in running a business is in general, regardless of industry? What do you find your business challenges are?
The challenges are definitely the hustle. The hustle I always describe as getting work and keeping clients. And that's something that a lot of guys that I train don't really understand, that I'm been in the industry this long and I have still got to hustle. And if you're not prepared to hustle, don't start working for yourself.
Absolutely. Now, going through the business journey, I mean, it's a lot of things that can happen, especially when you get your studio. Everybody can have cash flow issues. We've got concern with the staffing. Maybe how many staff have you got?
So there is. Me and Isobel got married 3 years ago. We sat down and decided at our age that a lot of people are trying to scale up their business. We had a big discussion and that we're doing the opposite, which kind of blows a lot of people's mind. It kind of, over in America, it was like really kind of, why not try to scale up? We are trying to simplify our lives. We don't like drama. We don't like hassle. So we decided that we did have a member of staff, but he let us down. Every member of staff I have ever had has let me down at some point. So we decided I can count on Isobel. Isobel can count on me. That's how we run our business.
So you're happy with what you're doing just now. You're happy with what you're bringing in, and you're happy to keep it as a family business. But just two of you,
Absolutely.
Yeah, family business.
Now, what would one piece of advice that you would give to people? I mean, talk about your time. You mentioned earlier on, I mean, a friend of the show we had on, Sir Tom Hunter, was your business mentor. Tell us about that.
So I actually met Sir Tom when I went through the Business Accelerator programme up in Dundonald. I done that for, I'm sure it was about 2 years. And one of the first things that they do is they drill into your business on pricing and stuff like that. And I'm sure at the time he called me a busy fool, and it's something that's stuck with me my whole life since then, because he's absolutely right. Because I used to run my business like a lot of Alaters retailers do. They run it on bargain prices, 2 for 1 and all that kind of stuff. And Sir Tom looked at me and he went, "Andy, you'd have made another £9,000 if you hadn't done deals." And I looked at him and he went, "You've been a busy fool." And it's stuck in my mind. And when I do my training, I try to get this across to people. Don't give your services away. Value your time and value your worth. And he's drilled that into me from a young age, and it's been amazing. So
I think you're right, and it's something when you look across the board. I mean, we don't go into Tesco or Sainsbury's or Asda, any of the supermarkets, and go up to the counter and go, "Right, I've got everything here, I'm buying quite a lot, can I get a discount?" But listen, we're all there. I mean, money is tight. We're in a cost of living crisis. I mean, services across Ayrshire are all, and council services budgets are being cut continually. We're looking at shared services to try and keep the economy running with the budget cuts, but also that is hitting people's pockets. But at the end of the day, people that are coming to get their vehicles detailed, they're coming for a premium service.
Absolutely.
They're coming to get something done that might not be a necessity to people, but if you like your car, then you need to be willing to pay for it. You're willing to invest in it and actually do that. So, and what you say there is, when you're coming to you've got a business to run, you've got a life, you've got the holidays, you've got your house, you've got your cars, you've got your own cars to detail, and all those things. It's important to price yourself right.
Absolutely.
But the fact that you're busy, you're keeping yourself going, means that your price point must be at a good point where you're still retaining it, but you're happy with where you're at.
Yeah. But as Andy said, there is always the hustle. It's the same in my business, my beauty business. Just always got to constantly be looking for, when you're busy, you're still trying to keep yourself busy. There's a lot of people go into self-employment and they know their craft, but they don't know the business side of things. At Studio16's training academy, that's part of the criteria of our training courses. We do business mentoring as well, because we want people to succeed the minute they leave. It's
fine knowing the craft, but you've got to be able to run a business as well. And I think you're strong on it. But one of the other things, and it's really difficult, I mean, I've seen it with self-employed, I've got my own businesses as well, and when you are out doing it and you're busy, it's difficult to keep up with things like social media.
Yeah.
Keeping up with the content, because fundamentally you can be doing all these things, if you don't shout about it, nobody knows.
That's it.
And it's important to keep all that up whilst doing it, and especially with both of you making the decision that it's going to be just you two, I take it you've got to kind of prioritise your day, where you might be busy with the detailing world, but you've also got to look at everything else. And have you still got your beauty business in Glasgow as well?
Yeah. So I still work in my beauty business part of the week, part-time, and I'm in the detailing side of things part-time. But I think where Andy and I have been a success, especially married couple, we can go home at night and we are doing business related things after work. We're on our phone doing social media, answering customers' queries, all that sort of stuff. We understand that part of the business. I think if one of us was in a normal employed job, another one was sitting on his phone all night, there could be issues, but we understand we have to put the work in the background in order to make our business work, and it never ends. And I think a lot of people don't kind of realise that. We don't shut the door at 5 and then that's it ended. It's constant all the time, but we do support each other in that, I hope.
Absolutely. And Andy's nodding his head, so no, we're all good. The counselling's done. They do support each other. Yeah. Everybody's happy.
Now streaming
Ayrshire Insights, hosted by Elliot Boyce.
This is Now Ayrshire Radio.
But before we find out about Studio 16's community work, it is time for Bargain of the Week. The best thing you've managed to bag for your bargain, and Andy, going to go to you for this one.
This is straight for every detailer, carvaler, anybody that needs to stick their hand in a bucket of water. Get yourself one of these thermostat that heats the bucket of water up. It's a game changer.
Where did you get it from?
No, TikTok shop, obviously.
All right. I've seen it. I think I've seen it in TikTok shop, but you always doubt it.
Oh, yeah.
Best
But it works.
tenner I ever spent.
Yep.
Fantastic. They've your parking
Fully up three of them.
So you're going to have loads of people now going on and looking for it. It's phenomenal. So you're now that's your product now, isn't it? You're going to start doing those videos and see talking like, no, I've got a great video, I have a great part here. Right, okay, so back to you. So why support local causes like us at Now Ayrshire Radio?
So at Studio16, we do like to give back. Ayrshire's been my place where I grew up, went to school, and I know a lot of people in Ayrshire, a lot of businesses in Ayrshire, and we just want to give back. The detailing academy that I do run, that's giving back to the detailing world, but it's also giving more confidence to people to get their cars detailed within the Ayrshire specifically. We're also bringing the Detailing Summit, which is a global event, and it's actually come to Scotland for the first time, and it's actually coming to our studio, and that's phenomenal. That's given back to all the detailers, all your local detailers really want to come to that and learn from massive manufacturers through the world that's got at it.
Yeah, the summit, it was really important for us when we attended some of them, 2 different summits down south. We were really, really important to us to bring it to Scotland, because there's so many detailers up here who maybe don't have the opportunity to travel down south. Most of these events are down south, so we were making it our mission to bring it to Scotland, so we're so chuffed it's happening.
So one of your biggest mantras, and you've mentioned it throughout the full interview, is probably taking away the stigma a little bit in the UK about the job that you do not being as well respected. I mean, we mentioned off air, Isobel, so people, washing cars and valeting cars, everybody needs it done. It's a really important part of us getting your car clean and also keeping it working and operating well. Detailing takes that to the nth degree. I mean, for something that you can get done for 2, 3, 4 minutes, and you guys are spending 2, 3, 4 days on cars, really putting protection in motorcycles as well. Talk to us about what is the contrast between the UK and America. For somebody like you, Isobel, what would it be like if you were in America doing exactly what you're doing here?
Well, my impression of it is the female detailers in the States are almost like rock stars. It's more common in the States. Obviously, there's hardly anybody in Britain doing it, but in the States, there's a lot of man-wife, husband-wife combos who are in business together doing detailing, but certainly females are like rock stars over there. They get treated so well. There's lots of sponsorship deals. It's just elevated to almost like supermodel status. The respect these girls have, quite rightly, they're out there doing the job just as well as the guys are, and it's just a different mindset completely. I'm definitely welcomed over here. There's no doubt about it, and the few girls that are in Britain are making waves, but in the States it's a completely different kettle of fish.
Bizarre and mental, just the sheer difference of it. But it is, the cool motor and people that are involved with kind of sports cars and going to rally days and stuff like that, there's going to be quite a wide array of people. What would you say your clientele actually is? Is it your people that have got the kind of project cars, or does it tend to be like me and Chris here, who might just want their car looking great? Yeah,
so I would say that my main client drives Audis, BMW, Mercs, stuff like that. I do get a lot of supercars in, but not as often. In Ayrshire, there isn't that kind of market, so it's kind of high end. It's guys that, they've bought a new car, they want to keep it new for as long as they possibly can, and that's where we come in with the protection. So that's really where our market is. Motorcycles is kind of different. If you're a biker, which I am, you're not just going to hand your motorbike over to just anyone. That's why I pushed Isobel towards getting her motorbike certification, so she was a specialist in that. Funny story though, that Isobel has never been a motorbike in her life. Have you not?
I've never ridden a motorbike in my life.
She's never been that way in her.
But a funny story, when we were in Orlando, I made a point of going into Harley Davidson in Lakeland to speak to a biker in there, and it was a real old style biker, a big handlebar moustache. He looked as if he was about 90, and he comes over and I start speaking to him about the exams I just sat. And I won't tell you what he said because you'd have to bleep it out.
Yeah.
But he basically said, what do you need to know all that for? To clean a bike? And I was like, yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. And I said to him, well, I don't even ride a bike. And he went, yeah, you don't need to ride a bike to be able to clean it. And I was like, yeah, you're right, mate. You're right.
Yeah, there we go. So I can imagine that was a massively toned down version of how that conversation went. Now, just sticking to the local side of things. So it's what you're doing here. You're trying to boost people that are involved with valeting and detailing. If people want to get involved with the community and actually want to learn more about it, how do they go about that?
So they can either contact us through all our socials, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Contact us through our website, or I've got a link tree on my Instagram. All the links are up there for the Detailing Summit, etc. They can even give us a phone. I love people coming into the studio because my studio is quite spectacular looking, if I do say so myself. It's all climate controlled and stuff like that. There's a lot more to what we do than wash the car. Wash the car is the smallest amount of it. It's everything else that goes in.
Always happy for people to pop in and get them a tour of the studio and talk to them about what we do.
And that includes local detailers, valeters that want to know more about the Detailing Summit. They're welcome to pop in and ask me my journey. My journey over the past 2 years has been crazy, and it's all been down to going to the first Detailing Summit in Hull in 2024.
So pop in, collaborate, amazing stuff. We're going to hear, great to hear all the stuff that you've been doing locally and what you plan to do for people that want to find out more. We're going to find out what's next for Isobel and Andy, plus finish strong with a fun round just after this.
This is the Ayrshire Insights Podcast with Elliot Boyce.
Now Ayrshire.
If you've just joined us, I'm with Isobel and was with Andy from Studio 16. But we have chucked Andy out the studio, haven't we, Isobel?
Yes, we have.
Because we are ready to play 5 Fast Boys. Right, okay, so for the 5 fasts, I don't want you to think about it. Don't pause, just fire out the first thing that comes into your head. Are you ready to play?
Go for it.
Right, favourite takeaway?
Chinese.
A song that always lifts your mood?
Dancing Queen by ABBA.
Best thing about Ayrshire?
How clean it is in the scenery.
Weirdest moment at work?
Involving the dogs.
And who plays you in a movie of your life?
Oh, I'd like to say Sandra Bullock, but only in her Miss Congeniality days where she's a tomboy and girl at the same time.
Really specific. Right, Chris, can you let Andy back into the studio, please? Right, we're going to see if Andy can guess your answer. So he's walking back in now. The headphones are on. Andy, we have just asked Isobel some questions. Let's see how well you know it. It's like Mr. or Missy. Missy, dear. So, what do you think Isobel said her favourite takeaway was?
Chinese.
Well done, right? 1 up. A song that always lifts her mood.
Oh, it's probably some kind of ABBA or something like ABBA.
We're close, but we give him half a point. Choose an ABBA tune.
Dancing Queen or something like that.
2. Best thing about Ayrshire, what did she say?
Probably the scenery and the everything about the scenery.
Yes. Do you know what? You've got 3 points. What do you think our weirdest moment at work's been?
At my work?
Yes.
Probably something involving the dogs, particularly my dog.
We're at 4. And the last one, can we get 5 out of 5? Who plays her in a movie of her life?
Oh God, I know this one as well. This is Sandra Bullock, but in Miss Congeniality.
Oh my God. Pay attention.
I don't know what, 5 out of 5. Well done, you. And by the way, just to say, we have got video cameras in here. It was definitely out the studio. Well, thank you.
Well done, Andy.
I know, well done. You know really well.
Pays attention.
I was going to say, you actually listen and your attention to detail. There we go. Right, okay, so what's next for you and Studio 16?
So the next thing that we are going to be involved in is a really interesting project with a member of the detailing community, Chris from he's just started a social media crusade, I suppose, bringing disabled detailers into the community. Brilliant. And this particular guy, he's had a couple of strokes. He doesn't keep well at all, and we're in talks with him, and we're going to be running free training sessions for people with disabilities to come learn how to look after your own car, get a bit of interest and get out in the community and meet people.
Absolutely fantastic. Really looking forward to finding out about that work and what happens with it. Now, what's one thing that you hope for Ayrshire's future?
Well, we're involved with a social media guy, and he's got a really good mantra. He's trying to build businesses in Ayrshire, and I think if we all use each other, buy from each other, just make Ayrshire are a really strong, busy, hustling community. And I think that's what we're trying to do. If I can buy local, I'll buy local. If I can use local, I'll use local.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, we're huge on it here on Now Ayrshire Radio and Ayrshire Insight, spotlighting the local legends, people like yourselves who have got something special. Really love the story there about bringing disabled people in as well and letting them, helping them and showing them how they can get involved in detailing.
Yep.
Now, before we finish up, have you got any final shout-outs or thanks to people round about you as helped supported you? Andy, you can go.
So one of my biggest inspirations has been a guy called Richard Hutchins who runs the detailing summits. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be where we are today. Isobel certainly wouldn't have won the global award, and the International Detailing Association, who have welcomed Isobel with open arms.
Absolutely.
Isobel, anyone for you?
For me, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Russ Urmanston from Invisible Patterns for believing in me and pushing me towards the PPF world. Didn't think I could do it, but he knew I could.
Fantastic. An amazing journey, an amazing story. Isobel, Andy from Studio 16, thank you for coming on today.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Elliot.
This is the Ayrshire Insights podcast.
Never miss an episode. Hit subscribe now.